I have to say, actually, first off, I only expected like 2 people in here. So I hope you guys, I hope all of you get something out of this, this experience here, hopefully, talking about social bookmarking. And social bookmarking's been around for a while now. And so I'll give you a little bit my backstory. I started using social bookmarking in the classroom setting actually when I was getting my master's degree several years ago. And I felt like it was a really good tool for group projects. So, you know, out of curiosity, is anybody from CDSI? Am I the only person from, there we go. All right. CDSI, awesome. But, you know, we did, yeah. And so, anyways, so we used to do group projects a lot. I come from the business school originally. And we were looking for a way, we had access to Blackboard, but we were looking for a way to communicate with one another, share websites, share journal articles, share pictures, everything that you could ever think of. If you found it on a website, share it to one another. And so these tools for social bookmarking are not meant to be a replacement for Blackboard. It can be used if you're using Blackboard or you're not using Blackboard. So it's a tool either way. But the whole idea is Blackboard really, my experience with Blackboard when I've taught, is the fact that when you can post things online, you can post websites, you can have group discussions, you can have group wikis and so forth. But there's no necessarily central database where students can always have access to this. So, you know, if you decide you implement this in your classroom, if you set up a group for your classroom and you post something, as long as they have that account for the rest of their life, they will always have access to it, unless the company goes under. So, you know, in that case, it's all lost anyway. So anyway, so that's kind of a little bit backstory about social bookmarking itself. And so, there we go. So the agenda is what is social bookmarking exactly? What are the different types of social bookmarking tools that are out there? And I'll different companies, some of the positives and negatives of the ones that, in my opinion, there's one company called Delicious. One tool is called Delicious. It's not a fruit or anything. It's actual social bookmarking website. And I'll go through an example of how to, you know, assuming that you already have an account set up, but show you the website, show you how to post things, how to create groups and things like that. Then my opinion on how to implement this in the classroom, why do this in a classroom setting, and then I'll take any questions. Also, I have some other examples of the company's websites, and also a second, which I'll get into later, play around with a little bit on the website, and I'll have during or after the presentation, so whatever you like. So, what is social bookmarking? Social bookmarking is a way to find, as you are scattering yourself across the World Wide Web, and you are going out there and you are finding little tidbits of information, so you can tag it. So you can say, you know what, I want to save that for the rest of my life. So you go on there, you go to a website, and you tag it, and you have it in your account, no matter what service you use, you know, depending on which service. You organize them, and you can share them with other users. Bookmark websites can be shared with the public in general, can be shared to just a few people, your select group, or it can be shared to no one at all. So it's completely up to you. Different services have different levels of protection. Delicious, the one I'm going to go after talk about today, is actually one that has all 3 of those functions. You can put notes when you find a website. You say, oh, this is a really cool website. Or, you know, check out, you know, page 3, paragraph 4, line 6, you know. So whatever you want to do. You can put notes on there. You can tag, little tags of, category tags of, I come from public administration. So when I find something that's interesting, I tag it in economic development policy because that's kind of the research area that I work in. And so I'll tag it for that term, goes there. Also, bookmark websites can also be used by the public. So when you have let's say you have a Delicious account, you can surf their website and actually find other people's posts. So if you want to look up anybody in architecture, for example, wants to look up different designs, you can type it in the search box. And you can find links that people that tag those websites with terms like, say, architecture or building designs you can look at those things put on the public web, put out there for the public. So anyway, so those are some interesting tools there as well. So what the idea is you have a social bookmarking website, you know, faculty, students, more students, colleagues, if you do research at all, can all put their influence, put their bookmarks into the social bookmarking itself. Some of the examples, some of the companies, exploration of this topic. Delicious is the one that we'll be talking about today, and that actually used to be their website until they actually bought the domain, delicious.com. So you have to put the periods in there. Reddit, Site You Like, Technocrati, and StumbleUpon in the lower left-hand corner there. So those are particular companies. To kind of give you my opinion on some of them just for right now, and please explore all the options because there's a lot out there and see which one fits your needs in particular. Reddit, I found that they had a really good, easy to set up portion, but you can't set up groups in it. So, for example, if you're trying to do a classroom setting and you want to, you just want certain people into the group, you can have friends. But, over the course of a whole semester, you may end up having 200 friends if you've got, that many students, group by group. Site You Like is actually very good, and that's the other one other than Delicious that I'll talk about a little bit later. Site You Like is it's easy to set up. You can actually register by the field of study that you do. So if you're a social scientist, you can do everything from political science, public administration, social work, whatever you want. If you're in the biological sciences, you can do whatever you want there. So it actually, and it helps you narrow down bookmarks that are already out. Save it in your own account. You'll actually sync it up with the public database. Oh, you know what? You're interested in these types of journal articles or these types of websites? Here's some other ones some other people in that field also liked as well. So here you go. Also, it has open groups. You can do private groups as well, so you can set it up for your classroom. You can also do, like I said, based off research interests. Has a toolbar capability, so you can actually integrate it into your web browser itself. And the only negative me personally I found of it was it's not common to find an add button on a lot of things. Site You Like is really more of an academic tool, so if you're going to certain news websites, it may or may not show up on those particular pages. Whereas Delicious is pretty common, and it's one of the bigger ones in the industry. Technocrati, there was a lot of ads on there actually. So if you don't want your students to be bombarded with ads constantly on the website, there's no group set up. The creation of an account was a little bit more complicated, and it's really good if you're looking for news websites. It's pretty, but I don't know necessarily in the try that one out. Feel free to maybe pull upon. Once again, I didn't find a toolbar tool for that one. And also, you can find your friends, and it's very good when the public in general, because it's quite popular out there. But in the academic setting, once again, I'm not completely sold on it. So, anyways, those are my opinions about the different companies out there, and I encourage you guys to take a look at it. Delicious, though, this is Delicious website. So show you websites. I actually copied the image and I cut out the top and I cut out the bottom so you didn't have to see what I had open at the time. So you didn't have to see my server button at the bottom. So anyway, so this is Delicious's website. If you're wanting to join it, I didn't go through the joining process on this because, should be able to do it. It's not hard to do. In the upper left-hand corner there, it has a little join button. So just click on that when you want to sign up for an account. And so I picked two services here. So if you're going to the FAU library, for example, or if your students are going to the FAU library, online data library, for example, has PAR, Public Administration Review. That's the big journal in my field. You actually have Delicious's button is right there, actually, where the little arrow is. So if you have an account already, you can just click on that button, you sign in on a separate web page. It pops up a web page, you sign in, and it gets added to your account. So it's very easy to do. As well as another journal database that we have here at FAU. And Delicious is on there as well. There it is. So you can click on it, but also StumbleUpon's on there. There's a lot of them out there. So, like I said, Delicious was the one that I personally like, so I just use that for this presentation. So, all right. So this is what happens. So when you click on the journal article, like the one I just had, the practice of collaborative government, collaboration by deflection, sorry. Here we go. This is what pops up, this window. You sign in, and then you have a title and description boxes there. Get little tags, like I typed in public administration. Before that, I put collaborative governance. So you can put little different tags, categories that you want to file it under. And then when this is your home. When you go to the website, so saved it, save the journal article. This is how it pops up. So you log into the account, boom. This is what happens. You see I have that one journal article that I saved on there, and so you just go from that. The little cat picture, that's a default one, so I didn't choose that. I'm more of a dog person myself, so, So what happens is you see all the journal articles that you have here, and then it's called create a stack. This is where you group the articles themselves or the websites or whatever your bookmarks are. So what you do is you're adding, so you actually, that pops up, and then what you do is you create a stack, and then you type in the title of the stack. So for example, Ph.D. 2258 is one of our kind of bread and butter courses, and so we have a lot of students in that. So you can just type in the classroom whatever course you're doing in particular. You do that, and then what you do is you click the little buttons. So you click the check mark, and then you add to stack. So you just click on whichever ones you want to add to that stack to set it up at first. So if you already have stuff there and you're like, oh, I want to share this with this class, I need to create the class group on Delicious. Let me go ahead and click on which ones I want to go ahead and add to it. So we go from there. This is the stack itself. This is the group. This is what you'll see. You have the title up there, like for example, Ph.D. 2258. You have a little description box underneath there. You can change the picture. So if you want to, I don't know, put whatever you like up there, but you can put a little picture right there where it says change. And then the list of the article, like I added that one article. So everything that you list will be there for that group. Now, this is you to see right now. This is just, like in my case, I'm the only one that sees this. I didn't set this up for anybody else to see yet. So what we do is, see, there you go, there's the article. What we do is we invite contributors. And so we click on the button, and then a box pops up where you're typing in email addresses. So if you have a list of students, you can get that either through Blackboard, Banner, even if a department has a listing of the people that are in your classroom, you can copy and paste it right into this with a little message. In the email address that you use for the account will pop up, and you type a little message, say, this is Professor so-and-so, here's the Delicious account group that we'll be using for this. I will say additionally though, if they don't already have a Delicious account, when you send this email out to them, it'll actually it'll offer to have them sign up. So it's not like you need to tell them ahead of time, email that you're about to send out to them to join the group. It'll offer to say, hey, if you're not already joined, here's a link to join. So we go from there. Sure.
The email that comes out of that is the email or...
Yeah, so
if you were a faculty member, you'd want to sign up with your FAU address.
Exactly. So I just did my personal, because I've had this one for years. I've had this for about 5-6 years. And I'll address up there, will@gmail.com. Use my FAU one, because I actually check that one more now than I do my own personal one. So yeah, so whoever you send this email, this invitation to, will actually go your whatever email address you sign up for the account with. Now you can always change that if you want to do it with a personal one at first and then go on later and say, oh, here's another email address, take that one instead. So you can do it, yeah. So, all right, so there's that. All right, and then what you do is after you can either do this before or after the invitation, so it's completely up to you. Nothing happens with the stack, with the group, until you actually publish it. And so you have to click the little publish button, and and what that is, it just sends it out into the world. It allows people to see it, and it's not just your own private. It's like in beta testing, a little group that so what you do from there is, when you're ready to send this out to your students or to the public in general, wherever you want, you click the little publish stack. And that's about it. And I will, well, particularly for this particular aspect. So like I said, you can do either way. You can publish the staff after you actually send the invitations out to the students. So that's it with Delicious. I hope you get it. I've used this for a while, so I apologize whatsoever. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to. Did you have a question? Sorry.
Yes, Darrin.
Yeah.
You were talking about the websites with the Delicious little
Yep.
logo is where you can add. Is SSRN one of those?
Which one?
Social Science Research Network, SSRN.
Ooh, that's a good question, actually.
Academic papers.
I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure, actually. I can look that up, actually.
I really wasn't aware of Delicious before you.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. No, actually, I use SSRN as well, but I had never really thought about it with the Delicious account, because I knew FAUs, a lot of their databases they pull from have the Delicious button, but SSRN actually have that. Yeah, the various journal articles or the. But yeah, I can do that as a sample here in a little bit, if you like, so just out of curiosity. Oh yeah, sorry, go.
Can you tag a specific article in multiple stacks?
Yes, yeah, you just click on it and you can just say, stick it, you click on it and you add it to the stack. Yeah, you can do multiple stacks and have multiple, the same article go to multiple stacks, yes, absolutely.
For people
whatever you is an option. For example, oh yeah. So sorry, I don't know. It pops up in a different button. So if you don't want contribute, like just contributors, if you just want to share it with a group of people just to view, there's a little button right here. Actually, I don't know if anybody can see it. It's the share stack button. That one is where you're just sharing it. I didn't go over that necessarily because I should have, but just share the stack with people and you send an invitation. It's the same box. Oh, actually here it is, the share with others box. Pops up, you send the email out, you send the invitation, but they can't contribute to it. They can't add comments, can't add their own articles, but they can just view what you already have. So if you just want to keep something private, but only share it with a few friends or a few colleagues, you can do that. That's different from the contributors. So, okay, yeah.
You probably said at the beginning, so I
Sorry.
apologize, but why is this any better or any different than, let's say if I'm teaching a Blackboard course, and in my Blackboard course, I just tell the students, look at this article and hyperlink it. I don't understand why.
It's not necessarily better. It's just a different tool that I'm offering. I'm not, and I just at the beginning I just like, you know what? It's not better, not worse. You can use it with or without Blackboard, whatever you like. It's a matter of actually Blackboard. You know, when a student leaves the class at the end of the semester, they lose all that data. They'll at least have this with them for the rest of the account, as long as they have it. So if they need to access it a few years from now, you know, I'll be honest, when I'm not very good at saving stuff on my own computer, so that's the reason why I have this. I can save things, and so a few years from now, let's say maybe they start out in maybe a 3,000 level course with you, but then you know they end up with a couple years later in a 4,000 level course, and they might be like, oh, you know, I remember doing something similar where there was a couple journal articles or things like that. So that's it. Yeah.
It also seems like it might be easier, I'm not certain, but I may be doing this incorrect whenever I go into Blackboard. I usually output some external links. And with this, if you can do it with the click of a button and then just, you don't even have to type anything else.
Exactly.
Right? You just add it.
You just add it. Yeah.
Whereas there seems to be a little bit more work in Blackboard.
Yeah, and you can do. I mean, you can cut and paste the link into Delicious just as well, but it makes no difference then at that case between that and Blackboard. But what this is though, certain links or certain websites, and like I said, Delicious is the most common one, has a button there where you click on it, boom, it's already in your account. And actually, when you do that, I tried this a while back actually. So let's say you already have the group. So you're adding, you know, you find an article and you want to add it to, let's say Ph.D. 2258. When you click on it on the website or on the journal articles website, click it, there's a drop-down box with all your groups. So you can go ahead and put it in the group that you think of right then and there, so you don't have to log it, you don't have to go all the way to the website and create, you know, have to go in and click and move it all around and everything.
So 3 years from now, if you find 10 more articles and you add to that, those students that requested 3 years earlier will be getting these new updates if they still have the same FAU email, which they may not.
No, well, yeah, well, what it is if they're in that group, so each semester you could just say, you know what, I'm just going to create a new group every, you know, say fall of 09, PAD 2258. Whoever was in that class could get access to that data. Now, it's completely up to your discretion if you want to continue to add people over time for that same class. But what you could do is you can just set up different groups, different stacks in this case, for every year, and just add it that way so those kids are not getting bombarded with it, you know, 10 years down the road.
You wouldn't have to have an FAU email.
Not necessarily. No, it can be whatever they want.
And they can access it that way.
Absolutely. All they have to have is a Delicious account. It doesn't, and you sign up for that either with your FAU email or it can be just a personal one. Either way, completely up to them. Mm-hmm.
Do you have to authenticate before you have access to the article, though?
Oh, you mean actually like?
Your outcard number and your PIN number?
Oh, no. Well, it depends on where they're accessing it at. If they're accessing it at the university, then they access it automatically. Example, I'll show you when I go to the library's website, I don't have to put in my outcard number or anything like that. Now, if they're at home, they have to do it just like anywhere else. And so, yeah, so that's.
So after a period of time, they'd be booted out of the system and they wouldn't have access to the article because they would no longer use it.
Yeah, that's true, actually, yeah.
Those are for life now.
Yeah, but
Out-card numbers, I don't know about, but
If
FAU
you-
emails are for life now.
No, and library access, it's true, FAU, because I'm at FAU. A lot of universities, though, do allow, like I still have access to my library. It's still a possibility. I'm not sure, though, but if anything, though, they can still at least have it for their whole career at FAU. Yeah, if they go on for grad school.
Could they also switch email addresses?
Absolutely. Yeah, they can
Change
switch.
your email address and make it more nearly permanent.
Yes, exactly. Or, you know, for example, if you're finding something on SSRN and you want to add the link to it, then, you know, that is obviously something that's a lifetime thing as well. I mean, as long as SSRN's available, so. Mm-hmm.
This is probably a stupid question. You said it. You mentioned that each semester you could create a new group.
Mhm.
And that makes sense to me. Can I then just copy the information that I put in a previous group so that I don't have to go back and access all those?
Absolutely. No, the links are always on your on your own personal page. Having to continuously access them every year, they'll just be listed here, and you're just like, oh, okay, these are the 5 that I wanted, and you can tag them. That's the thing. In an article, like I put, like some of my tags was just public administration or economic development policy. You could say, oh, well, no, actually, I want to tag it as PhD 2258.
But I know it's
So
always for that course. Okay.
exactly. So okay, yeah.
Can you give an example of how this has made your class better, so it's just not another tool?
Yeah, no. Example is the fact that, especially group learning, maybe necessarily professors sharing information because obviously there is Blackboard, but certainly when students are doing group projects together, this is a way for them to be able to collaborate with just as they're surfing the net, as they're finding data, as they're finding journal articles, whatever it is, they can have a centralized location to actually share everything and make it pretty quick and communicate, because you can also post comments on each of the journal articles that's in the group. So you could do it definitely in a classroom setting like that, but really what I'm advocating more of, if you have groups in your class, like individual little, four students together, and helps them collaborate a little bit more, because honestly, most students, my experience has been, a lot of students not necessarily the biggest Blackboard users out in there in the face of the earth, and at least maybe with Delicious and a little bit more of a, hey, this will benefit you over time, and this is a tool for them to use. It's not, you can use it mandatory or not mandatory. It's completely up to the discretion of the professor. So, but it's really for more group.
You normally advocate this, so it's gotta.
No, I haven't done that, and I haven't seen anybody do that yet. It's more of a, hey, here's a tool for group collaboration, and so, yeah, that's about it. Like I said, I think it's more of a group thing rather than, you could use it as a professor, but it's completely up to discretion. So it's more so an easier way to share things. So, yeah.
Your groups, and looking at, long-term maintenance
Mhm.
of that group. So 3 people want to opt out of the group.
Yes. Mhm.
After. How easy is it to go ahead and find their specific email in your group list? Is there a search ability within your group?
Oh, and-
find it, or are the group names
Yeah.
alphabetized? How do you go?
Oh, you mean actually in Delicious itself, as an
Yes.
example? Oh, okay. Yeah, what it is you'll actually see who the members of the group are right then and there. You'll see because it's really the use. So you can send it to email like this little box right here. You send it to an email if you don't know what their username is. And like I said, if they don't have a username, it will say, hey, here's a link to actually sign up for an account. But what you'll see is the username, the names in the group itself. And now at any time, you can go ahead and delete a group on there. So, you think, oh, well, 2 years is enough, or, kids anymore. You could delete it if you wanted to.
Well, but I'm saying that they specifically say, I want to opt out of this group.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they can opt out.
Do they opt out of the group themselves?
Yep.
Or?
Yep. Group at any time. So it's completely their discretion as
So
well.
it's their discretion.
Yes.
So you don't have to.
You don't actually have to go in and clean it out. Exactly. It's completely up. And now once they leave a group, if it's a closed group, so it's only by invitation, then you would have to invite them back. So it's, like I said,
Right, but
they can get themselves out of it if they would like.
maintenance isn't on your part, it's
No.
on their part.
Absolutely. Oop. There we go. These are some of the applications I feel like that are in the class. It, allows you to save your favorite websites and journal articles, like I said. Allows you to share websites and journal articles with students and colleagues. A central location that's easy, so you don't have to email out to everybody or post to the Blackboard, especially when there's a little button there already. Like I said, students can collaborate with one another actually whenever, they can actually post comments on a journal article group, or if they're, whatever they like, they can make comments and suggestions, and they can actually, like I said, when they're collaborating, they can actually add and contribute to the group itself. Contribute articles. And so, and then also it's an easy search. When you create tags, you tag, like say a journal article in economic development with the term economic development. You look, when you're logged in your own personal account, you can just click on economic development and it gives you everything that you've ever tagged, or in this case, PhD 2258. So that's an option there as well. What I'm going to do is right now, let me get out of this for a second. I'll go to some of the websites actually myself. So for example, like I said, here's PAR with on the Wiley Online Library. Here's Delicious. Now I will say, I mean, there's also others. You know, there's Site You Like right here, Stumble Upon, Delicious, you know, and then your Twitters, your Facebooks, and the Digs. So that's an option as well. Now here's my Delicious account that I've got right now, and I've added a second one. So really what it is this is a little bit of a quick, but let's say I want to create these are the two I have. And remember, both of them, the bottom one was already in another group. So I can create a new stack with these two articles and just say create stack a test, just for the sake of that. Create a group, and boom, here it is. And so you can put a description, you can change the picture right here. You can add saved links, things that you already had in the account. Somebody had a question about that. If you could do multiple times, yeah, it's whatever's in your list. So in here, you know, a picture of them. So in this case, it was PAR, and so forth. Yeah.
Is there a browser plugin from your bookmarks that you previously made for yourself?
Oh, plugin. No, as far as I know, right now there's no import from your bookmarks themselves. But you can get a plugin that goes up here. Site You Like actually, and Delicious does as well. Right here, actually. So if you want to click on that, you just drag it up and you add it right there. I'm not going to add it because it's not my computer, so but you can add it there. So if you want to, you can automatically, when you go to something, you just button on it. So there's for that. Now, Site You Like, I want to explore this one a little bit with you guys as well, because I thought this was quite interesting. This is more on the academic front. So this is, oh, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Just a side note,
Sure.
widely online, those are publicly accessible. Otherwise, for instance, if it's an article that you're accessing through Easy Proxy,
Yeah.
the fact that you've tagged that
Yeah.
doesn't circumvent, it doesn't do you any good, right? Because when students through what you've tagged that you need to access through Easy Proxy.
Oh, you mean, oh, well, I mean, if I'm, here, let me show you here. And make sure I'm answering your question here. So, for example, here's a PAR. I click on the link. A student, there it is. It pops up.
But they can't access the article directly. They'll still need to sign into Easy Proxy to get that article.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, and okay, yeah. In that case, yeah. No matter what, it's just it's bookmarking the website. That's what this really is. But this is for journal articles. Now, if it's just a New York Times article, for example, that's free for everybody to look at, that's just you're just tagging the URL, not necessarily the article, but you're tagging the URL for it. So yeah, and then here it is. So yeah, but yeah, if you're off campus, the students off campus, you'd have to go through Easy Proxy as well. Yeah, which is the downside. But though I will explore this one a little bit with you guys, and like I said, just continue to ask questions. My Site You Like. So for example, this is my account. I'm logged in. It has a Delicious sync, but it's actually not working right now. Though is you post a URL, post manually recommendations. For example, like I was telling you. So here's recommendations. I'm actually signed up right now for user-based collaborative filter. So what it is I have interests. It automatically syncs it up and offers them to me as recommendations. So if there's somebody out there in the world that likes public administration, and for example, here I have, Ph.D. 2258 because it like also has groups as well. And then also, not neighbors. That's actually where your friends would be at on this. Connections. So yeah, this is where you would actually post articles as well. I don't have any, like I said, I don't personally use Site You Like, but it's definitely a good area. Research fields, for example. So this is actually where you can communicate with other users that actually have a particular research interest. I'm going to be biased, sorry. Social sciences, public administration. And so these are people that are users that in Site You Like that actually also have public administration as primary or a secondary research area. So let's pick on the person from Edinburgh for a second, Bridgeweller. So you just click on the username and then it comes up, there's a bio. You can do a bio for yourself if you want to. It's completely up to you, but you can actually ask to be a connection. So you say, oh, you know what? I like some of if they have anything that's public, any of the bookmarks that are public, you can look at them and say, hey, we have similar interests, similar ideas. Why not connect with them right there? And you might encourage your students as well if they're doing any research projects out there. So that's Site You Like, some of the benefits of that. Technocracy, this is more for news myself, but this is what it looks like. I didn't log in myself. But it's mostly just news articles and so forth. But try it out, see if you like it, if you're interested. Stumble Upon, this is the website for that as well. Like I said, Stumble Upon's also on FAU's website, but it's not as easy to organize personally as, say, Delicious or a site you like. And then actually Evernote, a gentleman from Broward Computing Services actually mentioned, I hadn't heard about this one, but it's a very similar idea where you can start bookmarking things and tagging them and actually making comments on posts. So I don't know anything about this one, but I'm just throwing it out there. So if anybody would be interested in that. That's about it. I'm short, quick, to the point. I try to be. So does anybody have any questions? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If, say, 3 years down the line, you decide you're done with that stack and you delete it,
Yes.
does that delete it from the people you shared it with 2 years ago?
Yes. If you delete a stack, it's gone. Yeah.
And it's gone from the other people, so that
Yeah.
the other people wanted to keep that information forever, they'd have to save it into a new stack.
Yeah. Well, what they would do
If
is,
they saved it into their own stack, then they would still have it.
yeah, if they save it into their own stack. This is just if you're the administrator for the stack, the group,
Okay.
you have it there. Those don't import it from the stack, so they always have it. The bookmark, then they'll lose it if they don't do that. So, but I mean, it's completely up. Whatever you think how you're going to manage it, or how you think your students might manage the account itself, it might be an option. So that's my email address, dwilso92@fau.edu. So I will be more than happy. If you guys have any additional questions, please feel free to email me. I'll be more than happy. Yes.
So, is there a way of emailing your group so that if you say, hey, I'm deleting this in a month, you gotta save it to your staff?
Yeah, you can post a comment to the group itself. Now, the thing is that realistically though, if 3 years from down the road, students may not even be thinking about it, and so but you can do it though, absolutely. So if you want to give them a heads up, just to say, hey, I'm done. You know, this is going to be deleted.
Well, before
Fair
the end of the class, you say if you want everything.
Exactly, absolutely. So anyways, that's it. Anybody else have any questions, concerns, comments? Hopefully I didn't do too bad. A little bit rough crowd.
How would you relate social media into your classroom?
Social media. Oh, that's actually an interesting. I honestly have never done it, so I don't know. Social media itself, I don't know. You know, places in CDSI that it's not necessarily in the classroom, but it's more of in a college. Each program is starting to integrate social media a little bit more to connect with the students, but that's a college level thing. Classroom itself, no idea. So I'll be honest.
Period, even if it's in like a hybrid course, for example.
Yeah. As far as I know,
Maybe one example
yeah.
I did in an online course with undergraduate students, just a supplemental or a science course. So what I did, just for fun, to kind of get them interacting, because it's fully online, is held a photo contest of atmospheric photos. So I created a group page and then had students upload photos that they took of atmospheric phenomena, and then we held a photo contest on Facebook. And then did extra credit for the winners and stuff.
That's interesting, actually. Yeah, oh, excellent. So,
Tornadoes, all kinds of good stuff.
yeah.
Don't do this at home, though.
Because that's one thing, Blackboard, there's not really the ability to do lots of pictures with a cool group.
And as far as I know, from the Blackboard training that I've had, there's not a lot of social media plugins either in Blackboard. It's pretty standoffish from what I remember when I was doing a class, when I built an online class for it. So, any other questions, concerns? Yes.
Oh, that's a stupid question, I'll ask you.
Okay. No problem. All right.
Compliment you on your PowerPoint or however you presented it. It's very well designed.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, I have to say I normally use my Macintosh computer to do it. I did this in my office computer, and I did a template. So thank you, though. Thank you very much. I'll take a compliment.
From a graphic designer.
All right. I'm a numbers person, so I have a background in economics and now public administration. So design, I have no idea about. So thank you, though, for the compliment. So all right. All right, we got out of here a little early. Thank you. No, thank you guys. Thank you guys.